The line x plus 2y is 9 intersects the curve. So let me just say that's line, and the curve is xy plus 18 equals 0. At the points A and B, find the coordinates of A and B. So first of all, I have to make y the subject so that it's easier to compare. 2y is negative x plus 9, y is negative half x plus 9 over 2. So for the curve, xy is negative 18, so y is negative 18 over x. Compare them. So negative half x plus 9 over 2 equals negative 18 over x. So I'm sending x there. Okay, multiply throughout by 2x, let's say 2x. So 2x negative half x, 2x 9 over 2, 2x negative 18 over x. That's 2x. Negative x squared plus 9x equals negative 36. I'm sending x squared and 9x there. 0 is x squared minus 9x minus 36 equals 0. So now I need factors of 36. To give me 9, 12 and 3. So that's x squared minus 12x plus 3x minus 36 is 0. I take these two and I take these two together. So that's x minus 12 plus 3, x minus 12. So that's now x minus 12. And the other bracket will be x plus 3. X plus 3 equals 0. So I can say x minus 12 is 0 or x plus 3 is 0. So x is 12 or x is negative 3. Now I have to try to figure out what's the y coordinate. Now since they are meeting, so I can substitute the equation x value in one of the equations. I'm using the linear equation. I'm using that equation. So I think this time this will be easier. So let's use this one. If x is 12, y is negative 18 over 12, negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1.5. So 1 point is 12, negative 1.5. Let's say that's point A, because they haven't said which is A, which is B. So let's say A is that. Now if x is negative 3, y is negative 18 over negative 3, y is 6. So therefore B could be negative 3, 6. Now that's x1, y1, x2, y2. So length, formula of the length is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So I'm using that. x2 minus x1 squared, so that's negative 3 minus 12 squared plus 6 minus negative 1.5 squared, which is negative 15 squared plus 6 plus 1.5, so 7.5 squared. Plus 15, negative 15 squared. Square root on it, I get 16.77050 dash dash dash, approximately 16.8 to 3 significant figures. I can say that was 281.25. Alright, which is same as that. Let's try next question now. Number 2. A curve has equation y is x cubed minus plus 3x squared minus 9x plus 6. Write down the expression for dy over dx and d squared y over dx squared. Find the coordinates of stationary point and determine their nature. Alright, so I'm writing dy over dx. So that's 3x 3 minus 1 plus 3 2x 2 minus 1 minus 9 1x 1 minus 1 and 6 becomes 0. So dy over dx is 3x squared plus 6x minus 9. I'm done with the dy over dx. Now I need d squared y over dx squared. That's the second derivative. So I'm trying that only. From there only 3 2x1 6 1x 1 minus 1. So that's 2 minus 1. Minus 9 becomes 0. So d squared y over dx squared is 6x plus 6. I'm done with second derivative d squared y over dx squared. Number 2 now. Find the coordinates of stationary point and determine their nature. I write at stationary point dy over dx is 0. So I'm using this. So 3x squared plus 6x minus 9 is 0. Divide by 3. So that's x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So the factors of negative 3 to give you 2, 3 and minus 1. So that's x squared plus 3x minus x minus 3 is 0. X plus 3 from these two and minus 1 x plus 3. So that's x plus 3 and x minus 1 is 0. So I can write x plus 3 is 0 or x minus 1 is 0. So x is negative 3 or x is positive 1. So these are two stationary points. It says find the coordinates. Coordinates means both coordinates x and y. So I write if x is negative 3, substitute the value of x equals negative 3 into the original equation. Remember, original equation. So y is negative 3 cubed plus 3 times negative 3 squared, 9 times negative 3 plus 6. So y is, let me try using calculator, negative 3 cubed plus 3 times negative 3 squared minus 9 times negative 3 plus 6. I get 33. So one stationary point is negative 3, 33. Let's try the other one. If x is 1, I'm using that. So y is again 3 cubed. So I'm writing y is x is 1. So that's 1 cubed. 3 times 1 squared minus 9 times 1 plus 6. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 minus 9 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 6 is 1. 1 plus 3 minus 9 plus 6. That's perfect. Therefore, the other stationary point is 1, 1. All right. Now it says determine their nature. Okay. To determine the nature, that means I have to figure out if it is maxima or minima. So I should remember one thing. If d squared y over dx squared is more than 0, then it's minima. If d squared y over dx squared is less than 0, that's maxima. That's not part of the solution. this is for your understanding. So I'm writing d squared y over dx squared at x is the first one, -3. Where is d squared y over dx squared? That's 6x plus 6. 6, -3 plus 6, -18 plus 6, -12, less than 0. So this point, which is -3, 33, is less than 0 means a maximum point. And d squared y over dx squared at x is, the other is 1, 1. 6 times 1 plus 6, that's 12, more than 0. Therefore, 1, 1 is a minimum point. Hope you understood. Let me try one more question. Question number 3, express 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 in this form. So I'm taking only this 2 first. So that's 2x squared plus 4x minus 10. So that's 2x squared plus 2 times x, but I needed 4x. So 4x divided by 2 times x, 2x, which is 2. So third term will be 2 squared, but I didn't have 2. So I write minus 2 squared and minus 2. I'm keeping minus 2 outside only. We'll sort it out later. So that's 2x from there, plus from there, 2 from there. So I can write, it's okay, Buzo, x plus 2 squared minus 4 minus 10. So that's 2x plus 2 squared expansion. And 2 minus times -4 is -8 minus 10. That's 2x plus 2 squared minus 18. Alright. Now, it says for the curve y is 2x squared plus 8x minus 10, state the least value of y and corresponding value of x. So that's part 1. Part 2, the least value of y, thus that -8, remember that's x and that's y, and the corresponding value of x is, but remember I said last video, positive is negative and negative is positive. So 2 becomes x is -2. It should be, in fact, it is in this form. It is x minus a squared plus b, where the minimum value of y is b and the corresponding value of x is a. So that means x 2 times x plus 2 squared minus 18 should be changed into x. Alright, I can write like that. X minus -2 squared minus 18. That's why -2, which is and -18. That's fine. No need to write all that. It's just for understanding. So let me keep it. Alright. So you should understand why -2 and -8. So what I remember is, if x here it's plus, then minus. Minus is plus, but there for y value, plus is plus, minus is minus. Alright, number 3. Write down the coordinates of the turning point. The turning point It's also called as stationary point. It's also called as vertex. It is also called as minimum or maximum point depending on the curve. So all these mean the same, and we have already answered in this part. It is, what is vertex? -2, -18. So always remember these points which we are calculating, this is the vertex or stationary point. Let's try next question. Number 4. The line L1 has equation 2x plus y equals 8, and line L2 passes through the point A 7, 4 and is perpendicular to L1. Find the equation of L2. To find equation of the L2, I need gradient and I need point. I have a point. Point is A 7, 4. So I need to figure out what's gradient. So let's try. Now, first of all, L2 is perpendicular to L1. So let's try to figure out gradient of L1. So y is -2x plus 8. So gradient of L1 is -2. So gradient of L2 will be -1 over m, which is -1 over -2. So gradient of L2 is half. Now I have gradient and I have a point. So I'm writing y equals mx plus c. So x is 7, y is 4, and m is half. Let's substitute. So 4 equals half 7 plus c. So 4 is 3.5 plus c. C is 4 minus 3.5, which is 0.5. So I can write half. So y equals mx plus c. M is half. X plus c is half. That's the equation of L2. Second part. Given that lines L1 and L2 intersect at the point B, find the length of AB. So now L1 and L2 intersect. That means I have to compare them, solve them simultaneously. So what I'm doing is I'm just comparing them. So I'm writing -2x plus 8 equals half x plus half. Multiply throughout by 2. So 4x plus 16 is x plus 1. Substitute. Send 4x there, 1 there. So 16 minus 1 is x plus 4x. So 15 equals 5x. X is 15 over 5. X is 3. I got x equals 3. So now I need y coordinate. If x is 3, I'm substituting in that equation. Y equals -2x plus 8. So y equals -2 times 3 plus 8. So y is -6 plus 2, 8. Therefore, point B is 3, 2. And we are given A is 7, 4. So x1, y1, and x2, y2. So length AB, the formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Alright. So I'm writing square root of 3 minus 7 squared plus 2 minus 4 squared. So that's 4 squared, 16 plus -2 squared, 4, square root of 20. Approximately. It is 4.472 dash dash dash, approximately 4.472, 3 significant figures. Now let me add one more question. I'm writing here number 3. Calculate the midpoint of AB. Alright, let's find midpoint of AB. Number 3. Midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. x1 plus x2 over 2. So that's 7 plus 3 over 2 and 4 plus 2 over 2. So that's 10 over 2, 5, and 6 over 2 is 3. All right, let's try the next question now. Number 5. Find the coordinates of the point of intersection of the line y plus 2x equals 11 and curve xy equals 12. So I'm writing y plus 2x is 11. So y is negative 2x plus 11. I have sent 2x there. The other curve is xy is 12. Line. This was line. And that's curve. So y is 12 over x. So I'm comparing now. At point of intersection, the equation of the line is equation of the curve. So I'm writing negative 2x plus 11 equals 12 over x. So I'm sending x there. So negative 2x squared plus 11x is 12. Setting 12 there. So it's negative 2x squared plus 11x minus 12 is 0. Multiply throughout by negative 1. So that becomes 2x squared minus 11x plus 12 equals 0. 2 times 12, 24. Factors of 24 to give you 11, 8 and 3. So 2x squared minus 8x minus 3x plus 12 equals 0. Both should be negative because the middle number is negative. And this tells me I have to add the factors. 2x, x minus 4, minus 3, x minus 4. So that's x minus 4, x minus 4. I can write x minus 4 or the bracket 2x minus 3. So I write x minus 4 is 0 over 2x minus 3 is 0. So x is 4 or 2x is 3. X is 4 or x is 3 over 2. Now it says find the coordinates, which means y coordinates also. So if x is 4, y is, I'm substituting in that equation. So y is negative 2 times 4 plus 11, which is negative 8 plus 11, 3. And therefore it is 4, 3. If x is 3 over 2, y is negative 2 times 3 over 2 plus 11. So that's, so that's 11 minus 3, which is 8. So the other point is 3 over 2, 8. Therefore, the coordinates of point of intersection are 4, 3 and 3 over 2, 8. Let's try the next question now. The equation of the curve is y is 2x squared minus 6x plus 12. Find the expression for dy over dx and d squared y over dx squared. Okay, so dy over dx is 2x 2 minus 1 minus 6 1x 1 minus 1 because that's 1. 12 becomes 0. So dy over dx is 4x minus 6. Now d squared y over dx squared. I'm using dy over dx for that. So that's 4, 1x 1 minus 1 minus 0. So d squared y over dx squared is 4. Alright, I'm done. Sorry. Second part. Find the coordinates of stationary point. at stationary point dy over dx is 0. So that becomes 0. Right, 4x minus 6 is 0. So 4x is 6. X is 3 over 2. Find the coordinates. That means I need y coordinate also. So y is, I substitute the equation value of x in original equation. So y is 2, 3 over 2 squared minus 6 times 3 over 2 plus 12. So let's try. So that's 2 times 3 over 2 squared minus 6 times 3 over 2 plus 12, 7.5. So that's 15 over 2. Let me cross check again. That's 2 times all right, minus 6 times 3 over 2 and plus 12, 7.5, which is 15 over 2. All right, so the coordinates of stationary point are half, 15 over 2. Done. Find the nature of the stationary point. Okay, for nature of the stationary point, I substitute d squared y over dx squared and the value of x for the stationary point. So d squared y over dx squared at x is what? At the stationary point, half. X is half. So that's already 4. There is no place to substitute x. So that's 4. It's more than 0. Hence, the stationary point is a minimum point. Let's try the next one. Number 4. Find the equation of the tangent where x is 3. Equation of tangent. Now tangent is a line. So for equation of a line, I need a gradient and I need a point. Now point is given. Point is where x is 3. X is 3, but that means I need a y coordinate. So y is, substitute into the original equation, which is that 2x squared minus 6x plus 12. So y is 2, x is 3, it's given, right, where x is 3. So 2 times 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 12. So that's 2 times 9, 18, minus 6 times 3, 18, plus 12 is 12. Therefore, the point we need is 3, 12. Okay, let's see the gradient now. So gradient is what? Nothing but dy over dx. So dy over dx. Always remember dy over dx is the gradient. So 4x minus 6. But I can't write gradient as 4x minus 6. I need a number. So what do? In place of x, I write the value of x. What's the value of x? It says x is 3. So I'm writing 4 times 3 minus 6. So that's 12 minus 6 is 6. So dy over dx, which is gradient, is 6 and the point is 312. Y equals mx plus c. Y is 12, m is 6, x is 3 plus c. So 12 is 18 plus c. 12 minus 18 is c. C is negative 6. So I write y equals mx. M is 6x minus c. That's the equation of the tangent.